It's Wednesday night again, and welcome to another Undressed, the podcast that reaches the wobbly places other podcasts daren't venture. Join our panel for a thrilling threnody of rumbustical debate where the answers are always clear, simple and straightforward. Oh yes, let me introduce our panel for tonight. We have Kathleen.
Hello.
Josh. And of course, he has finally learned not to wear the big red hat. That's amazing. Coach Tyler's with us.
Yes.
The beard's looking really good.
Yeah, the beard
Thank you.
is looking
I'm
good.
trying.
Trimmed,
Josh,
and,
when I first started coming here, I just looked up to yours and I was like, damn.
Dr.
How do
Orlando
I, Dad,
is with us.
please?
Hello there, children.
Dr. Fernando has come with us, and can I say, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, he has his big pint of lager today. It's actually a 2-pinter, so we're looking forward to some interesting stuff. Count Ivanoff is with us.
Guten Tag.
Ah, yes. My
Guten
name's
Abend.
Jeremy Taylor, and let's start with a question that is concentrating people's minds, and I drag you to the thought of bagels. Now, bagels, it has just come to my notice that we are no longer allowed to have bagels sliced. Apparently, the bagel Nazis have come down on us.
Yes.
Once again,
Was somebody
bagels and
stealing the
Nazis
inside
And
slices?
don't go together.
Dr. Evo, Count Evo, whatever your title is tonight.
Yes, I tend to agree with bagel traditionalists that the bagel should not be sliced. Bagel is a bagel only when it's round and it's traditional. Bagel, you slice the bagel and it becomes something else.
Okay, I'm sorry.
This
I
is
gotta
a
step in.
travesty.
This
It's
is
a
the
travesty.
dumbest conversation.
Yes.
How do you have lox and cream cheese with an uncut bagel? So tell me
No,
sliced.
okay, you can
Explain
slice it in half. That's okay. But we're talking about a company, and I'm not going to name them because we're going to get sued, that actually slices the bagel in thin slices, like 5 or 6 slices.
Like through the hole.
Yeah, like...
You didn't say that.
That's what I'm talking about.
What a...
So are they
That's
going
what
to
I'm
sponsor
talking
us tonight?
So basically,
What?
you end up with
I
bagel
wish.
chips.
Maybe
Thanks
next
for-
week.
yeah.
Those are delicious.
Yes.
Especially
But not
fried.
toasted, though. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Untoasted bagel chips.
Untoasted
Yes.
bagel
I was
chips.
wondering, how are
bagel
you going to do this?
sashimi.
Where's the...
Yes, no, of course the bagel can be sliced in the middle. I'm talking about these people putting it in a machine and slice it in like
And
tiny
then
slivers.
what? And then what do they do?
And
with
then
it?
they eat it like in small bites. It's ridiculous. It's
like
not a
tapas-
bagel.
It's a tapas of bagel.
Yeah, it's a travesty. It's
People
a
are just
sacrilege.
too lazy to chew anymore,
Yeah.
aren't
I
they?
think it was kind of a sacrilege that you guys both put Nazi and bagel in the same sentence, because that is not right. Okay,
Well,
not
and
right.
also
Bagel
the
Nazis.
phrase uncut as well.
Bagel
I know.
That
There you go.
I was thinking...
It's really uncool, man.
Bagels and holes in bagels, and it was all... Oh, I don't know. Dr. Fernando, do you have anything technical to add to this about sliced bagels?
I just think it's awful. Like, I don't know who come up. I wish they would disclose the name of the company. But
Yeah.
either way, I think people that demand this bagel super sliced, they should just stick with goldfish and stay on the kindergarten.
We're just- Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
What is the obsession of this society? Slicing everything into tiny slivers. It's ridiculous.
Julian
So you
bagel.
can
Yeah.
have a chopped bagel, but you can't have chopped air.
No chopped air.
Chopped air.
I was actually going to go
chopped
to and ask him about this,
bagel.
because if you're slicing,
It's unchopped bagel.
is the center of the bagel
Yes.
How many
dealt
licks
with
does it take?
differently if it's approached on the horizontal or vertical plane?
The one thing I want to tell you guys.
Are you coach?
Oh, you were asking coach. I didn't hear that. I am coach, actually. Yeah.
Coach 1, Coach 2.
So, yeah, I was just thinking that bagel is one of those foods that you don't want to mess with the people that are serving it to you, because it might fit perfectly on parts of their anatomy before they serve it to you. Yeah, you know, there's a rule of thumb that you don't mess with people that
He was
prepare
talking
your
about their thumb.
food. You know, yeah, you don't mess with people that prepare your food or drinks, or you might end up with them stirring your gin and tonic with their dick. And putting the cock in cocktail.
That's not a feature.
I never say anything horrible about cornrows, but I always walk away with a stomachache. Why is that?
Welcome to the club.
So bagel is one of those foods that, you don't want to mess with the people serving you the bagel.
True. Yeah. Okay.
So let's go. I wanted to ask Dr. Orlando something about normality.
Eric, the producer, is here.
Eric just
Eric the
arrived.
Great. Yes.
Are you all right?
They're called headphones.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Jeremy had, I think, a pretty fantastic question. And I pass it out to you guys. Is there something that you consider to be normal but wrong?
But wrong?
See, I think this question's coming directly from the Mueller report. Right?
All right, Kath, what
Okay,
you
this
got?
is not political, but destination weddings.
Destination.
That's
getting more and
wrong?
more normal, but that is just wrong.
See, I don't know. I like the notion of the destination
Your wedding
wedding.
is supposed to be a something for your family to come around to celebrate with you. And if you're demanding that everybody who attends your wedding has to spend thousands and go away that's not what a wedding is about. It's asking too much of guests. Okay?
I think the point of the destination
And
wedding,
that's
though,
why
is
it's
to cut
wrong.
down on the number of guests.
I don't want to see Aunt Martha. Let's go to
That's
Vegas.
another
Or
good
go to
reason that it's
Hawaii.
wrong.
It's not Aunt Martha's wedding. Sorry.
So, what about those folks that are having?
Weddings are supposed to be a joyous grouping of all your relatives and all your friends, no matter whether you like them or not.
Oh, you had me up to that last phrase there. Like, I think if I were, well, put it this way.
Elope and, get it done with.
Yeah.
Elopement is a much better idea.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Well,
a
coming
destination wedding?
from someone who's got to pay for a what's the meal before the wedding, in the evening, the night before
The rehearsal dinner?
dinner. Yeah. So I have a rehearsal dinner to pay for, or we have a rehearsal dinner to pay
Soon?
for. And someone was saying
year
we've
away.
not been able to find anywhere to hold the rehearsal dinner. Looks like we're going to end up at McDonald's. I thought,
Delicious.
brilliant idea.
Normal.
Brilliant idea.
But wrong.
We'll take over McDonald's. It's cheap. The food's not going to make you ill, and you can park. What do you want?
There's a playground.
What more could you want?
So is the question kind of like...
Fernando's looking at me with absolute horror.
I want to ask
Is the
them,
question
where's the
about-
location?
is the question about things that are not illegal, but
Yes.
you know they're wrong?
Exactly.
Okay, so like watching ABBA, Here We Go Again is not illegal, but it's clearly wrong.
Yes.
Or listening to Kanye's horrible bullshit music is not
Hey, man,
illegal, but it's
don't-
really, really
don't
wrong.
slam Kanye. Kanye knows his shit.
Dude,
As far as music
Kanye
goes.
can't.
Waiting heartbreaks.
Kanye can't even order McDonald's without an auto-tune, man. This guy is he has no any kind of musical skills. He can't compose, sing, come up with anything original. It's horrible.
The Kardashians. Normal.
But not
But
illegal.
I would
not
as I say,
illegal.
so, like,
Kardashians,
although I
sure.
radically disagree with my buddy Evo on Kanye's musical
I know.
acumen, I would
horrible.
completely agree with the Kardashians. Like, I don't even get I understand that it's something that we as people do. We sort of like identify these people that we're going to, approve of as stars just for the sake of being stars. I think we've done it for as long as we've had like pop culture figures. Like you go look on the walls of the Coliseum and they're, drawings of the.
But at least they battled lions. They
Yeah,
just
that's
didn't
true.
shove
They
fat
weren't
ass.
just there, but like this whole notion of like the hero worship that goes along with fame,
Yeah.
I just don't get it all.
Kim Kardashian, by the way, just turned 40. I don't know if you know. So she's clearly not illegal, but still wrong. Very, very wrong.
But what about things like divorce? I use this as a metaphor. Divorce is normal, but does that make it all right?
Well, sometimes it's the best solution.
Yeah, that makes it all right.
Sometimes there's nothing better than divorce. I mean, if the situation is horrible for everybody and for the kids, you
I'm gonna have to go opposite and say weddings. normal, but wrong.
I also
Nobody
agree.
should get married. What's
Really?
the point?
Okay.
Point now.
What about, how do you guys feel about
Tax deductions.
chopped air?
Normal,
but wrong.
That's so wrong.
Chopped hair.
Coach, do you have
Not
anything you
illegal.
want to add to this discussion of things that are normal yet wrong?
I'd say reality TV in the vein of
Oh,
Kim Kardashian.
good one.
That's actually really
Definitely
good.
reality
Yeah.
TV.
There's something that, in terms of sports, is very interesting. It's flopping.
Flopping.
In basketball and soccer. In soccer, it's called diving, when you act like you've been hurt. In basketball, remember Marcus Smart? He played for Oklahoma State.
Oh,
He
and-
was the master of flopping and pretending like he was just fouled. And he was such a good actor, he would get the call every time. It's not necessarily illegal. He's not getting punished for it, but it's wrong for the purity of the game, and the fans recognized it and hated him for it.
Yeah.
But hey, he won him game. And you know, this conversation inevitably takes us to our current president and the fact that he just celebrated, took victory laps for doing something horribly wrong and just not being punished for it.
Yeah.
You know,
2 cans
so-
of hairspray, or what? Was that what it was? I'm confused.
That's a good example of really where I was trying to go with this, or I was thinking about this question is, we are now thinking when we watch the TV, whether it's Fox on one side and MSNBC on the other, they're reporting things and we're not reacting to them anymore.
Yeah.
So
I think it's different, though. Like, I think that there is a difference between having a news report that is, for lack of a better word, respondable versus what goes on in the news today. I was complaining to Conroy about this before the podcast. Like, if my news feed can have any other permutation of Trump said I was fucked when Mueller was nominated for investigation.
Right.
Like, how is that news? How is Trump uttering the F-bomb 19 months ago, like, remotely newsworthy? Like, why is this story the one that fills up not just my news
No, I
feed?
think
Because
it
it's
was
kind of an
important.
admittance
Yeah.
of guilt. Because
It's not an admittance of guilt.
nobody who's innocent is gonna say this is the end of my presidency. I'm fucked.
Are
Oh,
you
that's
saying
not true.
that if
That is
you
not true, because even take that on a smaller scale, if you get in trouble for something or investigated about something, you automatically in your mind ruminate or get anxiety around, oh, now I'm fucked if that happens. So anybody's going to say that, whether it's Trump or you get in trouble for coaching the wrong thing and you have to go in front of the principal or whatever the thing is, even if you're not
We've all
wrong.
done something bad.
It's not even that there's something bad. It's the fact that we got a finger pointed at us, so we automatically think we're bad and in trouble. So we go to that spot where I'm fucked. I'm gonna
Everybody
lose
knows
my
that's
job.
not what he meant. Come on, you're
Yeah,
stretching
but
here.
no. See,
he
I-
knew that he had his misdeeds were going to be uncovered. That's
Yes.
everybody knows that's
and
what it
I
was
think
about.
that regardless of whether or not that is the case, because quite honestly, I'm not willing to go as far as you, Josh. I'm willing to say that he absolutely was terrified that every shitty thing that he's done was about to be uncovered. But still, him saying I'm fucked is meaningless. It has no weight in court. It has no weight
And he
for
was redlined
Yes.
everywhere.
It should have been, quite honestly, a footnote to a larger story.
Yeah,
But
maybe, but
the-
it's going to
the-
be a vote influencer.
The fantastic part about it is he's wrong again. So he's not fucked.
This is the
He
problem.
did all the things, and
Like,
he's
we're
not
talking
fucked.
right now about his poll numbers being at the lowest that they've been.
See-
Well, but they're tied for the lowest that they've been. It's not even like they're significantly lower than any point in his presidency. It's like,
He keeps tying himself for the lowest.
yeah,
You know, it wasn't the I'm fucked part. It was the part where he said it's the end of my presidency. This indicates that he was really, because if you're worried, yeah, you might be worried about some things that you have done, and people start digging, they'll find you didn't. I probably didn't pay taxes some year. I don't know, but it's not gonna be the end of. You know, he wouldn't say this is the end of my presidency. That indicates he really, really, really has some massive, stinking skeletons in his closet.
and
he
if
knows
he
it.
had, and if he had resigned as a result of it, then maybe it's worthy of a further discussion. But the fact that he said these words 19 months ago, and it is literally the top story in every news source that I look at, is ludicrous.
They just
Ludicrous.
looked in the document because the investigation started long time ago, and this is a summary of the entire investigation. So this was written long time ago. People were looking for the more insidious material in the document, and
Right.
and that's one of the things that are kind of glaring. And
So the crimes don't get reported on.
Yeah,
The
that's the
substance of this report
Well, it's
doesn't
this-
get reported on.
We
It
haven't
is-
been able to see the crimes. They've all been
yes,
blacked out.
but we've heard that the word "I'm fucked" was dropped, and so I get nothing else out of my news. And somehow, like, I'm still supposed to feign interest in this story
come
that
on.
I'm.
You know
But
that
it's
your
the
news
same-
knows that you love the word fucked, and so there's just sending that to you.
Well,
It's
but
the
that's
same
just
thing
my
when he got
porn
caught
searches,
saying the
though.
other thing,
No.
though, right? With the news guy about grabbing the. I mean, it's the same. I mean, he just says these things, and they become news.
Yeah.
So I don't know why we're surprised.
Or why
why we
we would expect that, why we as the podcast table would expect that anybody would have like anything more than a reaction of disgust or shame for him, and have that be the end of it. I mean, isn't that the point of these like salacious details that are coming out about the story? Isn't it just to shock us and to get us to read more about what they're printing?
Yes.
Like, there is no, again, like higher societal ideal that these folks are trying to push or message that they're trying to push with these stories. They're literally trying to keep our eyes on their
So that's
paper
normal
or their
but
site.
wrong.
That is, and it's not the behavior. The behavior's just wrong. Period.
It's the media.
But it's
the media's-
interesting. You see, if you turn it around, and you say, "Is there something you think as being wrong that you do that's wrong but normal?" And so, for example, I can give you a really good example. I bet everybody in this room right now, today, did something that was wrong but is normal. And by that I mean,
I did walk up to Fernando and sniff the back of his head.
yes, well, we all do that. But more of that is
I don't pay
He's
that.
irresistible.
I did speed up to the car in front of me just so that the guy on the right would not butt in.
That's a dick move.
who
Yeah, well,
drives at
when they had just
35
been tailgating
who
me
drives
and-
at 35 miles an hour in a 30 mile an hour limit? Who drives at 40 miles an hour in a 30 mile an hour limit?
All of
Who
us.
drives? We all do, but it's
Speak
normal.
for yourselves, heathens.
So things like that. We'll talk in a little bit about another subject, but I'm just wondering, who here has never had one more beer than perhaps they ought to when they know perfectly well they should have not actually had a beer in the first place, and then drives home? It's something that everybody put their hand, including you, Coach. Don't sit there looking all angelic because
Actually,
you're
I
younger.
have never done that.
You have never done that.
I think I've always had somebody around to drive me. Luckily.
But
Yeah,
what
I'm
I was
not
thinking,
sure where this is going. Are you asking us if any of us are perfect? Or
well, I'm just wondering.
There's no more than two perfect people at this table.
I would say eating McDonald's is wrong but normal.
Oh, that's a good one.
You know,
I
like
that one.
that's really good.
I
yeah.
mean, that's
Yeah.
truly like
Yeah.
we all know
Chick-fil-A.
it's terrible for us.
Yeah.
We all know
Yeah.
soda is terrible for us.
Yeah.
We all know a bag of chips is terrible for us, and it's wrong.
Yeah.
But it's
being
normal eating.
associated with
'cause
Conroy's
the
bar.
examples Jeremy gave
wrong.
are actually
Yeah.
punishable.
Just wrong. Just wrong.
You can get punished for driving 5 miles over. You can get stopped, or for jaywalking. But this is not punishable. This is your choice.
Yep.
And your your internal, like your consciousness tells you, "Oh, I know it's bad, but yeah."
But then you can take it. I thought it was a fascinating thing because you can take it. Is it, for instance, normal to not wear a belt, but still wrong?
This is one of his prime candidates for being pissed off about not wearing a belt.
So I just want to make sure that I
This is just
understand the
something that
paradigm.
Jeremy
Is
has a thing
is
about.
it that not wearing a belt is somehow inappropriate?
Well, what I'm trying to say
he's
is
trying to
things that are wrong.
no. I want to know about the belt.
back about you want a belt?
Yes. So if I'm not wearing a belt right now, am I
Naughty
being
person.
naughty?
I don't know. Are you?
Come on,
You know,
answer, Jeremy.
Yes, I need an answer, Jeremy.
I don't. Yeah, I'm an asshole. By the way, I don't wear the belt in town, and I have the annoying signal beep 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 beep. So I actually went to a junkyard and got a clipped belt.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
that
you're
I
talking
can
about
just,
a seatbelt.
Seatbelt that I can. I just plug in the little. I just plug in.
Why?
the
What
little
were you
piece
talking about?
and
Are you talking about seatbelt?
No,
seatbelts.
he was not talking about seatbelts.
No,
You
Jeremy's
see-
I
talking
was
about,
talking about
slacks.
Yeah.
You were not.
I was too.
He was talking
Why,
about
what
wearing
do
a
you
belt
think
with
I
a
was talking
belt.
about?
Elastic waists. Do I still have to wear a belt?
Yeah.
Well, the law says
Wrong.
yes.
But normal.
Yeah.
I
The loss.
just want to see you arrive here with elastic waisted pants.
I just
on.
want to wear tight sweatpants. Here. Like 70s style, tight.
All right,
think
did we
we've
get
done
one
this.
from you, Fernando?
About what?
About something that is
like,
normal but wrong?
Like threesomes or something.
Sweet pickles.
Sweet
Threesomes are
pickles.
Normal, but wrong.
All right, Josh is winning right now. You got any, Fernando? If not, we can move
I
on.
like sliced bagels.
The sliced bagel. That's not even normal though. That's the problem.
That's just wrong.
Yes.
That is just so.
All right,
Yeah, okay.
moving on. The police in the UK are now trialing a radar that can tell if a cell phone is being used in a vehicle.
Let me guess who manufactured this.
Sir
Dyson?
James Dyson.
Chopped air. That
You guys think
asshole.
that is a reasonable search? You think the police should be able to just search any car that's
That's a
driving down
little
the street?
invasive, goddammit. Although,
That's exactly what they said about radars,
but
speed radars.
Radar, by the way, radar
Radar
spelled
love,
backwards
though.
is radar.
Oh
my God, it's a palindrome!
you
I
have messed
love
up my
it.
mind for the rest of the
I
evening.
love palindomes.
Palindome.
On the other hand, every time I drive to work, almost every time I pass somebody who's fucking texting, and it drives me insane because I know I-70 is a straight shot, but my God.
Let me change the parameters of the question a little bit. Should we enforce measles vaccinations?
Yes.
Yes.
Returning to the original question, should the police be able to check via radar whether or not we're using cell phones in our
Yes.
car?
If
Well,
it works properly.
But I mean,
Wow, it's a way to contrast.
Well, wait a
on,
second.
hold
Wait a second. There's now hands-free phones. You can. I get a call and I'm talking and driving on my car's speakers.
You
I
know
don't
the
push
charge
anything.
isn't driving while using cell phone. It's distracted driving, right?
Yeah, and in the UK, even that's illegal.
Really? Well, why do they even make this feature
The only
on
thing
every
that would be
car?
legal about it is if
Mercedes
they
is
stop you and
amazing.
somebody else was using a phone. That's allowed.
but hold it, like I don't see how it would be possible. Okay, I'm driving my kids. Guess
Yeah.
what? They both would be doing on a backseat.
You know what? I'm not
Using the cell
yeah.
phone, like how I don't see a technology
fault.
that they can detect and filter that.
yeah, it's tricky,
I'm
but
not.
it's not illegal. Just like radar.
So
guns
what
were
they're
not
doing
illegal.
is that they're saying that like in the old days they had radar and speeding, and we always thought that was cheating on behalf of law enforcement. Now they have developed a way that they can tell if a cell phone is being used in a vehicle. Now they can't prosecute at the moment on it for precisely the reason that Fernando says, and that is that they can't tell who is using the phone. They can just say that a phone is being used.
But that would most likely be probable cause to pull you over to check and investigate.
Yeah, they
well,
just-
wait a second. If there's more than one person in the car, you can toss the phone to the other person and
Yeah,
say, "Hey, they're talking on the phone. They're not driving."
Just like I do with my
Or
weed.
the bar.
You know what? I've decided I'm not going to worry about when they invent a blowjob radar. I'm going to start worrying.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I don't think it's feasible.
Can you imagine
If
that kind of
excellent
technology?
for a rock band?
Yeah.
Just give yourself a blowjob.
Yeah.
Right.
the source of this news? The source of this.
I'm sure it's like some British tabloid.
Inquirer magazine.
Probably.
Cell-
But they already can control your car. I mean,
We control the horizontal.
yeah.
Is this
it's how-
conversation inevitably going to veer off towards the driverless fucking cars?
Let's hope.
Because I'm so tired of the
Can I
driverless.
drive my car from my phone and be in trouble?
That would be the best of all possible situations.
Oh, my God.
Mr. Jeremy, did you raise your hand? Did you have a question?
No, it's just I was thinking more about the way that law enforcement, you might say, cheats to get tickets and arrests.
Yes.
Hiding behind trees and
Yes.
hiding behind hoardings and
Yes.
and
all of which they're allowed to do.
pretending that they're an ordinary car parked and taking a leak when in fact they're running a speed check.
Yeah.
Things like that, sitting up on top of a bridge.
So
when no
what
one
would
can
be the
notice them.
alternative? Like,
I-
should they just not
But you're still breaking the
police
law because the speed
traffickers?
limit is 80. And if you're doing 85 and they're sitting up there waiting for you to break the law, then
What I think should happen is that patrol vehicles should all be unmarked, with the exception of having some big light type thing in it, so that when they do switch, the thing lights up like a I don't
Yeah.
know what, and they just drive up and down, I don't know, highway whatever it is, and so when someone goes past at 95 miles an hour because they can't see a police car. Then all of a sudden the police officer switches on the lights and they're done. They're also using now, and I believe they're using it, I found out, in America as well, unmarked semis.
yes.
Huh?
Unmarked
I got
semis.
an unmarked semi
So
right now.
this is
That's what I'm talking about.
this is
Put a bagel on it.
this is
I don't
a
think a bagel's fitting on that thing. Might fit on yours. As you're driving down the highway in your driver's car.
10 of those on.
This is a rig that they have impounded,
It's a
perhaps
rig,
in a
all right.
drugs bust or something like that, and they drive this down the highway. It's all properly commercially registered, so that a truck driver coming up behind it will recognise it as a commercial truck. What they don't know is that that the truck driver is working with unmarked police vehicles who are in close vicinity. So when a vehicle goes past too fast, or an example of bad driving, road rage, or trucks doing 75 miles an hour when they're supposed to be doing 70, they don't see they don't realise that they've just driven past a police vehicle. They're in fact driving past a semi.
This is one of those sad, sad days where ultimately I'm going to agree with Jeremy.
Oh.
I
Totally
know,
unmarked
it's
everything?
Like,
Yes.
No, it's
Yes.
like there is this notion.
Oh yes, the
That-
boy done good.
Yeah.
No, just
Like-
Boys
agree with
done
him. Make
good.
it feel so
I
good.
know. I try not to do it. I really do
But
try.
every once in a while, you got to make him feel good.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I got a bump from
Yes.
There
the
is
count
this
there.
notion in
Yeah.
well, it used to be.
Get
in
your hand
American
off my
law.
knee.
I guess technically it's still there. That like there is this notion of fair play, and that you shouldn't be targeted. It's part of
Yes,
the reason
that's
that we
what I
have like a
mean, fair
statute
play.
of
Oh, how
limitations
quaint.
on crimes. Like there's a certain point where you shouldn't have to worry about it, and it's one of the reasons why traditionally like. There are patrol cars, or like the state troopers will be out with their lights on to like give people the alert that
Hey, I'm here.
right, or the reason why they publish the sobriety checkpoints.
There
Like,
happened one this weekend, by the way.
yeah, so like there is a point to it, but yeah, I'm having difficulty because I definitely get where you're coming from, Jeremy. But there is also a component of what you guys were saying before, like you're breaking the law, like be prepared to pay the price for breaking the law.
Breaking the law. Yeah, I saw him and I was like, oh yeah. I
You're
gotta
not
say
just breaking the law, it's something that is very, very dangerous.
What's
But
Driving distracted because you're on your phone is most people don't realize how dangerous it is. They don't understand that their attention actually is completely taken away from whatever is in front of them, and their accident rate goes up. And it's got to be discouraged anyhow you can. If they think they're going to get pulled over because somebody has mysteriously detected that they're using this phone, then maybe they won't use it as much.
Oh man, I was driving to Texas on 35 South, and there was a truck F-150 weaving in front of me, weaving. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just step on it and pass him real fast. And I passed, and I looked at him. It was a guy wearing a cowboy hat, reading a book. on his steering wheel,
Now,
and I was like,
you can't get pulled over for that.
yeah, and I was like, holy shit! I can't believe a guy driving an F-150 wearing a cowboy hat is reading a fucking book. He's freaking shocked. I was in shock.
I apologize to all of our cowboy hat wearing listeners. that
You
read
have an
books.
F-150. Sometimes I wear a hat.
But you don't.
But
Would
it's
you read
a red
book?
hat. It's not a cowboy hat.
That's right. He never reads.
No,
Listen.
it was a long time ago. This was before cell phones were a thing, so that was a long time ago. By the way, a side note, completely random. In Europe, including Bulgaria now, we have, believe it or not, and it's the funniest thing, we
Cars?
have cop cars that are fake, made out of plastic. Yes. Incredibly convincing, photorealistic, like poster, like cutouts by the road, put there so people slow down. And we have them everywhere.
Yeah, but I
They've
think
been
that
doing
like
that.
goes to back to Jeremy's point. Like that alertness, like is part of the mechanism that gets people to drive more safely and not the ticket itself.
On one of the main artery holiday routes down to where we used to live, there is a McDonald's, like a pull-in a fuel station and a McDonald's and what have you. And there is a police car parked there. And I've often wondered why this police car's parked there, because it's gotten to be a bit of an old police car. It's still clean and everything, but it's an older vehicle. And I asked someone, and they said, yes, in this county, they don't dispose of their police vehicles. They park them in different places. And, of course, someone comes trundling over the hill at 80 mile an hour when they're supposed to be, sees this police car parked, and they slow down. And they say it does cut down on the old accidentals.
Yeah.
So going back to the segue, the measles question, do we think that we should be enforcing a measles vaccination?
Yeah, jab them, stick them.
Calm
Poke
down
'em.
there. Calm down there, fella.
Well, if you decide not to vaccinate your kids, should probably put a big tattoo on their forehead saying "danger,"
Yeah,
so that people would
I'm
know.
not entirely sure how put it this way. I want everybody to be vaccinated because it makes sense, but I still just personally haven't come to the ultimate conclusion that the government needs to enforce it.
There is a piece of being part of a society, whether there's a government or laws or whatever, that norms that you live in as a society, and some of these norms are making sure that the greater good is taken care of, and some of that has to do with the way that we take care of disease, right? And if vaccinations are keeping the greater good healthier, then the people that don't want to take them, tough shit, right? Because sometimes it's
And there's
about
no real
the greater good.
And there's no real exemption that like you can somehow segregate yourself medically and still be part of the society. It's like if you're here,
It's
you need to.
like the Black Plague or
Whoa,
sewage
whoa, 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 whoa.
or whatever.
No. Always bet on black.
Always, always. Like semi-truck black.
Yeah.
Because I always feel a bit difficult because I'm here in America and I know how Americans feel about the Brits. It's
We won.
we
and
hate
by the
the
way,
Brits,
Evo hasn't got anything. He's sniffing. Have you been at it again, or have you not had your jab?
I don't know. I don't.
You don't
think
have the measles, do you?
Yeah, no, I don't think I understood one word of what you just.
I just wondered why you were sniffing, my Bulgarian friend.
Oh, it's the
All
black
right.
flag.
Next
Right.
question.
Yeah.
Right.
We are looking at the end of a couple of movie series this year. So we're looking at a new John Wick, or the final John Wick in the trilogy, the last Star Wars movie, the final part of the Marvel saga. Are there any non-major tentpole franchise movies that you guys are interested in? Because I don't have any. Like,
How about a Sherlock Holmes?
Sherlock
is
Holmes.
there a Sherlock Holmes
Not
I
movie
would
Robert
like to
Downey.
see another in any of the series we've had.
Cumberbatch?
Cumberbatch would be great. Yeah, wouldn't that be good?
Yeah, he's
Well,
fantastic.
I've got a couple that I think I'm looking forward to and interested in. Frozen 2. Of course, I think
That's coming
that would
soon.
not
It's coming
be a
out
major
already.
This is,
Oh, you're
movie.
looking-
Yeah,
this
go
is
ahead.
where the girls. There's the lesbian thing because the two.
No. Those are sisters.
That's
You take
wrong
all the fun out of
and
it for
not
you, for
normal.
him.
Then I was thinking about Men in Black, which is another.
There's going to be a new
And
one.
has that come to an end
international, right?
because there's not going to be any more Will Smith or Tommy Lee Jones in it?
No, they've got two
Two
new
new
folks.
actors.
That's another. They now have Chris Hemsworth and what's her name? The woman that played
But
Valkyrie.
it's going back to our first question: is it may be normal to carry on a franchise without the real actors in it, but is it wrong? And so I'm just.
I think this is the only way to we're just gonna ignore the question and talk about this for just a second. But no, I think it's completely reasonable to breathe life into an old series by introducing new characters that are only share the setting of the movie.
Like Star Trek and
Well, of course,
Star
and
Trek
of course,
was
the one that is going to be
yeah.
the mind-numbing hit of the year is going to drive America completely crazy.
More?
Mr. Bean.
Well, there is another one of those coming out, actually.
Hobbs and Shaw,
of
Fast
course,
and Furious.
coming out in September.
Uh-huh.
Ready? Downton Abbey.
Oh God, an actual movie or
Yep.
just another season of that crap?
Deadwood.
Deadwood movie. That looks fantastic.
Not Deadwood, Downton.
I lost.
No.
Yeah, nobody.
We were right.
care.
Yeah.
Deadwood.
Deadwood. Yeah, we're not.
Downton.
All right. Now, seriously, any non-franchise tentpole movies? Do you guys even know of any
I looked. And I
major
just don't
franchise
even
movies?
look anything good. Any good?
Yeah, there's an incredible movie coming up called Ad Astra, featuring Brad Pitt and Tommy Lee Jones. And it's a science fiction movie that's
This summer?
yes, and it's directed by James Gray, who is an incredible director. He directed maybe one of the best movies I've seen in the last 10 years called The Lost City of Zet. We watched it with Jamie in the movie theater, and it was about a real character, a British explorer. His name was Sir Percy Fawcett. He traveled to the Amazon and discovered a mysterious civilization. That movie was mind-blowing, was that good, and was directed impeccably. So I'm really looking for Ad Astra, in which Brad Pitt ventures into space to look for his long-lost father, Tommy Lee Jones, who left the solar system some time ago. Also, there's a Chinese movie that is amazingly Netflix obtained the rights to it. It's the first Chinese movie that's done on Hollywood scale. I'm talking hundreds of millions of dollars budget. And it's a science fiction movie called The Wandering Earth. In it, the sun is about to explode and go supernova, so the human civilization decides to commandeer the Earth like a spaceship and get it out of the solar system and move it away from the sun. Now, this movie, as preposterous as it sounds,
Yeah,
this
there's
movie.
some problems with that.
Yeah,
But
many problems,
okay.
but they apparently have spent enormous amount of money, and in China the movie has made close to $1 billion, and Netflix got a hold of it, managed to buy the rights, so it's not going to be released in theaters but on Netflix. Another movie that I'm looking forward to is the new Terminator movie.
the helicopters.
It's going to be directed by the Deadpool director, and it's got Linda Hamilton coming back,
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
and Arnie, and James Cameron's the executive producer, and they will ignore the timeline of the other Terminator. They will follow the Terminator 2 and go from there. What else? Rocket
Hold on.
Man
Hold
about
on.
Elton John.
Eric, the producer, has one.
I don't consider it a franchise, but maybe the director himself, but the next Tarantino movie.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, looking forward to it.
movie's
And
that?
it's called
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is about the Manson murders.
Oh yeah, I just don't even know he was directing it.
It's going to be about the Manson murders.
Brad Pitt's in that one, isn't he?
It's
Yeah.
got Brad Pitt in it, and it's got,
Well, he's got a lot of
Margot
the-
Robbie,
hasn't he got a lot of-
and Leonardo DiCaprio,
Returned matrimonial money to pay, hasn't he?
and Al Pacino is in it.
Oh,
Quite
is
the
he?
cast.
I wanted to go back to our technical advisor and ask him how they're going to move the world. You know, the Chinese. How would they do that, Fernando, Dr. Fernando? How would they move the world?
Well,
Would they buy some more Teslas
They're
and
trying
send
to
them up?
figure
they
that.
need a lot of fuel.
Yeah.
So I don't know if
Maybe
gonna
they just
be
hollow out the inner
probably
core.
will be
and live in there or
SpaceX
something.
No.
based, or
You guys are silly. It's easier. The answer is easy. It's unchopped air. You got all you need is bladeless turbines.
nuclear bombs. Nuclear.
I thought they
bombs.
might fire some Teslas up, and then the
Brad Pitt's
Teslas.
going to be riding in a Tesla.
Driverless Teslas.
That's right, and the Teslas could pull
Passengerless
Because it's gonna
Teslas.
propel the planet out of the orbit. So I think nuclear bombs is the only thing. But I don't know if they can propel without.
Gemini Man. Do you remember the movie Looper?
Yes, it's a fantastic
Yeah.
movie.
So Ang Lee, the multiple Academy Award-winning director, has made a movie called Gemini Man with Will Smith, in which Will Smith is going to have to. He's an assassin, and he's going to have to deal with his own self trying to come and kill him. So it's kind of a take on Looper, on the Looper universe, but it's Ang Lee and Will Smith, so I have high expectations. And guys, we gotta watch it. It's coming up this summer, and they left it kind of. It was disappointing that they left it halfway done.
Huh?
The book has the kids both as kids
Right.
and adults.
That's the point.
Well, they
You can't,
never.
you can't put all of that in one movie.
So they are making. They made the second movie, in which, by the way, I want to see it because the great Jessica Chastain is playing Beverly, the grown-up Beverly. So that's going to be.
That's a great movie.
Which one?
Lawless.
Lawless. Yes, that was great.
Great movie.
Where he's in Brahms.
All right, I'm gonna finish.
Shaft. Are you going to watch Shaft?
I still think
Yeah.
John Wick 3 will be the best movie this summer.
I'm hopeful.
The
that's
best
gonna be
movie
it.
this year has already been made, and it's Us. It's Jordan Peele's Us.
I saw that. Evil and I saw that together with Jamie, and when we saw it, I was really disturbed. But no, I wasn't disappointed. I was disturbed, and I've been able to come to terms with the messages of the movie.
Yeah.
And now I think it's actually pretty fantastic.
I think the fantastic Pete. Anyways, yeah.
And
I could go on and on about that movie.
You guys, I think Disney made a movie about Donald Trump, a Dumbo. Right? It's out already. It's
Why
live
would
action.
you insult Dumbo like
Yeah,
that?
Dumbo is sweet.
Oh my God, I'm never going to see that movie, but I'm still
Pinocchio.
really sad.
They've been saying
All right.
Dumbo somewhat dark.
Yeah.
Final question before we find out who our sponsors are for the evening.
Oh yeah.
I think I've asked this question before on the podcast, but it's been maybe a year or so, and I'm just kind of taking an informal poll. Would you guys rather lose your purse or wallet or your phone?
Phone.
Wallet.
Phone.
I didn't lose my wallet. I did lose my daybook on an airplane recently.
Oh.
And
Just like I don't ask a question.
Car
That's what I was just thinking. Like he
and
just
All his
it's a bit-
ideas
it
from
was
the
a
last
bit-
few months.
Yeah, it was a bit like Evo does this. You have a book of ideas, don't you? Or you used to anyway. Yeah,
which is scary.
Yeah.
and it just sort of.
I'm sorry. I'm
You leave it on airplane, it's lost. People used to do the same thing. None of you were old enough, with the exception of maybe Neil, our engineer, to remember
Hi, Neil.
filofaxes. Do you remember filofaxes? Yeah, see, I knew you'd say yes.
First World War.
There was a thing about leaving filofaxes and in mental health and all this sort of thing, and the loss of losing your filofax. It was a mental loss as well as just a practical loss.
Yeah.
You
I'm
know,
really
so-
sad that you're still thinking about
so,
that.
yeah.
Loss of the
So would you
filofax.
rather lose your purse, wallet, or your phone? Was the question.
Yeah.
Phone.
Phone every time.
Every time.
Just go down, work, and buy another phone.
I just go get a new one.
You know, if you're Jennifer Lawrence, you would rather lose your wallet, you know. But I don't have anything embarrassing on my phone. I don't take the
Well,
stupid
maybe you should.
self-naked. Yeah, I don't take the stupid naked selfies and shit. So I don't care. I mean,
Boring.
everything's in the cloud in terms of address book, you know, pictures. So I don't care about losing the phone. It's recoverable. But my God, going to the fucking DMV to get another driver's license.
Exactly. Terrible. You get there at
Oh my
6:30 and there's still 30 people in line.
Oh, the credit card hustle also to cancel all this shit. It's a fucking nightmare. So yeah, I would rather keep my wallet, fuck that phone, And
See, I'm still the opposite. I still would prefer to lose my wallet over my phone. This is way too much of an extension of my brain that, and I've got it personalized so that it knows me, and like I don't have to like give it all the commands anymore. It just kind of knows what I want automatically.
That's why
That's sad.
Yeah.
No, this is
Your
my
phone
precious.
is your best friend.
This is my precious.
Yeah.
You guys
Don't stroke it like that. That's disgusting.
it's for my daughter. I regret my daughter's not here because for her this question doesn't mean anything because she has a wallet that has her phone in it. So you lose one, you lose the other.
Seriously.
All right. Thank you, guys. Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. We did.
Just to correct, that's you be a long story, but fact.
All right.
Jennifer Lawrence, she was hacked.
Oh, she didn't lose her
She was
phone.
hacked, and it was a big thing. So
Shame
we
on you,
can't even
Fernando.
start on the-
Shame on you.
Fernando, I understand saying, like, those are great.
I
pictures, aren't
don't
they?
want to lose my car keys. The rest can go away because my wallet's empty. My phone is prepaid and flipped. So, anyhow,
Excellent.
All right.
Excellent. All right. It's now time to find out, Mr. Ivanov. Do we have sponsors for this week?
Yeah, oh God, yeah, I just received a copy from our advertising department. All right, see, oh my God, you guys, this is incredible. Dude, we might actually rip like the fabric of time-space continuum this time because, believe it or not, apparently our marketing department has done the impossible and has overwhelmed their own monumental ineptitude. We're sponsored today by Wednesday Night Undressed. Oh my God, that's right. Apparently someone in our marketing department contacted by mistake someone else in our marketing department and convinced him to sponsor us. Thus, we are now part of both history and the theater of the absurd. We are proud to become the first program on record to elevate itself into its own official sponsor.
Sweet.
Here's the copy I received from someone in our marketing department named Mick Mulvaney. Okay, there we go. We are sponsored today by Wednesday Night Undressed, the only podcast that peaks right after it has been deleted. The Guinness Book of World Records has recognized Adam Carolla's podcast as the most downloaded podcast in the world. We are also recognized, but as the #1 podcast in the world who has downloaded the most Guinness in Conroy's bathroom. Some podcasts rely on production quality, charismatic guests, and illuminating content to support their business model.
What fools.
Wednesday Night Undressed, on the other hand, has pioneered a different, revolutionary technique. The quality of our show deteriorates faster than the listeners can lower their standards. Researchers from the Department of Psychology at Trump University have concluded that listeners of our podcast gain between 20 and 30 IQ points by turning the podcast off. If you're looking for a show that can enlighten, entertain, and educate you, by all means, stay away from this one. Our listeners agree. Whether we talk about politics, food, society, or culture, the most interesting, informative, and uplifting part of the conversation is always the pauses we make between words. You want to learn something? Then get the fuck out of here. Wednesday Night Undressed features a panel that has achieved the highest level of incompetence on virtually every topic. Being that uninformed takes a special effort. In fact, Wednesday Night Undressed feels like the daily security briefing at the White House. Recently, we have also achieved another dubious distinction. We are now the only podcast in the world that talks exclusively about driverless cars. Yes, there's the global warming, nuclear proliferation, Ebola virus, and asteroids the size of Germany, screaming through the Kuiper Belt towards Earth. But according to our leader, Jeremy Taylor, none of these cataclysmic events comes even close to the civilization-ending menace that is driverless cars. And so we talk. We talk about ominous driverless cars, school buses, trucks, station wagons, RVs, tanks, scooters, roller skates, you name it. We talk more about driverless cars than driverless car salesmen.
Quite rightly.
Hey, we know we have an obligation to warn mankind about the virulent driverless contagion. One day humanity will be thankful to Jeremy Taylor and our podcast as the corrosive driverless infection envelops the earth. If we don't act now, that creepy plastic mannequin Elon Musk will become president and send us all to fucking Mars. A giant Tesla will replace the Statue of Liberty. There will be sentient driverless cars bulldozing crossing guards for entertainment and playing GTP, Grand Theft Pedestrians. The DMV, Driverless Motor Vehicle Department, will test us all to make sure we cannot drive in order to give us a driverless license. Driverless Humvees will patrol the streets. There will be driverless through restaurants. Weird driverless driving schools, and so on and so on. Driverless culture will even take over Hollywood and remake the classics, like Not Driving Miss Daisy. and Martin Scorsese's Taxi Driverless, featuring a very confused Robert De Niro. Yes, the driverless carpocalypse is upon us, and it is up to Wednesday night Undressed to save the day. Some people might say there are other things to worry about, like cosmic radiation, Africanized killer bees, and Kellyanne Conway.
This is all the same thing.
Don't believe those people. They are fake news. They're taking a piss. In fact, they put the stream in mainstream media. Instead, trust our sponsor and embrace everything that is driverless right now, like the United States of America. And of course, this very podcast. Thank you, Wednesday Night Undressed, for generously sponsoring your own fucking self.
Like to thank the team again tonight. Josh, Eva, Kathleen, Dr. Orlando, Coach Tyler. Everybody, is that everybody? I think it's and we come to our technical team, of course, led by Dr. Fernando. Eric was moving the dials. Unfortunately, it has to be said that our chief engineer turned up late. He seems to think that because we're now internationally famous that
driverless podcast.
He's driverless.
But not as drunk as usual.
I was just going to say that. You've been listening to another Wednesday Night Undressed. Thanks very much.
Yeah.